What's going on, guys? It's JSGC here, and we are here for a Manchester City 2018 summer transfer window lookout. So I'm going to be looking at 5 players that Manchester City could sign in chronological order of realistic targets that Man City really should be targeting. These are players that we've been linked with, rumoured with, and probably going to be going in with interest, maybe even bids, and signing these players. So we're going to crack on with the list. And at number 5, I've put in Toby Alderweireld. Now, I don't really need to introduce the player. If you follow Manchester City, then you'll be following the Premier League. You'll know all about him. He's Tottenham's centre-back. He's fallen out of favour with Pochettino, the manager, because basically he wants to leave. He's 29 years old, he's a centre-back, he's from Belgium, plays for Tottenham. His value would be around £50 million, maybe even a little bit more. Tottenham drive a hard bargain. We saw it with Kyle Walker last season. Toby Alderweireld could be the same. Now, Manchester United are showing heavy links with Toby Alderweireld too, and you might be thinking, why are Man City going in with a centre-back? Well, Man City have been linked with centre-backs in the past. Man City are again getting linked with centre-backs, which is suggesting that perhaps Man City want to target a little bit of a change of formation. As you saw at the beginning of the 2017-18 season, Man City went with 5 at the back, playing 3 centre-backs. So we'd need a lot more of an option for Man City to target them centre-backs. We look at a lacking option there. And Toby Alderweireld, a world-class centre-back, international player, already used to the Premier League, would fit that bill, and it'd be perfect for Manchester City to go and sign him. Now, Man City are after apparently 2 to 4 players this summer. I imagine the 2 players are probably going to either be a winger/attacker and probably a defensive midfielder to help cover Fernandinho, because we've literally got no cover for Leroy Sané or Fernandinho. So they're the 2 positions that are obvious. Possibly a central midfielder if we're going to make a third signing to help De Bruyne and David Silva out. And then, last but not least, you'd be thinking that Man City would be targeting a centre-back because of the options there. We've only got 4 centre-backs, and if we're going to be playing 3 centre-backs per game, that leaves us with only 1 option, which means Adarabioyo would then have to stay at Man City. And I don't know what Man City's plans are with Adarabioyo, whether they want to sell him, keep him, train him, or loan him out. So centre-backs are getting linked, so we're covering them on the list. At number 4, we've been linked with Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, central midfielder. You may not have heard of him. He's 23 years old, he's born in Spain but plays for Serbia, a Serbian international. 23-year-old central midfielder, plays for Lazio. His value, very expensive. Lazio are not too sure what they want for him. I valued him at around 50 million. Lazio are saying they want around 100 million. If that's the case for negotiation could be around 70 to 80 million pound for a player that's never played in the Premier League, for a player that's relatively young at 23, relatively unknown. It's a little bit expensive, but he is an option there. He's a very good central midfielder, can cover in central midfield and defensive midfield. It would give another good option for Man City. For me, though, I think that we need a little bit more. So there's better players, in my opinion, out there for us to go and target. That would be more of a value for money to us rather than stumping up loads of money. And talking of better value and stumping up loads of money, it brings us on to number 3, Jorginho. Jorginho, he's born in Brazil but plays for Italy, so he's an Italian international. There's lots of interest being shown by Manchester City. Central midfielder, 26 years old, plays for Napoli. Apparently, they want a £60 million. They want £60 million. They put a £60 million asking price on him. Perhaps there's room for negotiation, so maybe we might be able to get him for a little bit cheaper. For that price, he's a little bit cheaper than what Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is. He's a little bit older, but another option, in my opinion, he's just pipped Milinkovic-Savic, in my opinion, Jorginho. Man City have already played Napoli twice this season. Pep was impressed twice with how Napoli play. They play the passing style, quick, and that like to press too. It'd make sense. It'd fit into Pep's bill very nicely, and a good, versatile central midfielder. Now, at number 2, I have put Thomas Lemar. Now, Man City are getting heavily linked with him. He's been heavily linked with Arsenal and Liverpool last season. Apparently, Man City are interested in him this. Perhaps it's a bit of an advantage that he plays for Monaco, and we've got Benjamin Mendy already playing for us, and Bernardo Silva, who both played for Monaco. They've made the step up to Man City, and both seem to be enjoying their time at Man City. So perhaps they could be an influence here on this transfer. Now, his value, I'd value him between around 60 to 70 million pound. Arsenal had a bid accepted for him, which was, I think, over 90 million. million. There's room for negotiation. However, Monaco drive a hard bargain, so if they want that money, they won't accept anything less. So it becomes a bit of a difficult transfer. Now, in my opinion, I would definitely go in for Thomas Lemar, mainly because of how versatile he is. He can play in attacking midfield, right midfield, and predominantly left midfield too. Provides cover for Raheem Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Leroy Sané, and it also helps in attacking midfield too. It'd allow a break for Sergio Aguero or Jesus if we wanted to play two up top or one behind the striker too. So a lot of options. So signing him, it would make a lot of sense. And him being 22 years old, only a young player, it'd be fantastic. He's born in Guadeloupe, but he's a French international, plays for France. So a young, good, quality signing for me if Manchester City are able to get him over the line. If not, I'm sure other Premier League clubs will try and sign him, and if they do, they've got themselves an absolute quality attacking player. Now, at number 1 on this list, and it's the Man City player that we've been linked with the most, it's Julian Weigl. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up announcing him kind of first in like a Gundogan type deal that we did before the international tournaments kick ahead. Now, his value could go up if he has an impressive World Cup campaign, if he ends up going to the World Cup with Germany. A German international, defensive midfielder, can play in central midfield too. 22 years old, young still, plays for Dortmund, who like to play the attacking, pressing, quick football, so he'd be suited well to Pep's team. He's very good at passing. His value, this is very important, his value is lower than that of everyone else that's on this list. Now, we could grab him for anywhere between 30 and 50 million. It's a bit of a blow because a couple of years ago in 2016 we could have had him for less than 20 million pounds. However, he's matured, he's got better, he's signed a new contract, his value's gone up. So if he's valued at around 18, 19 million, his value's at least doubled that. So we'd be looking at 35, 40 million pound, probably towards the 50 million pound. Dortmund you can negotiate with. Arsenal showed that with Aubameyang. They do strive a hard bargain, but there is room for negotiations there, and if Man City are cunning in the transfer market, which they haven't really been over the last couple of seasons, been a bit slow, leaving things last minute, deals have ended up collapsing, Alexis Sanchez, Dani Alves, for example, then, you know, we need to get this one over the line. It'd be very good for Man City's midfield. Like I said, we're getting linked with a lot of midfielders. So that's my top 5 players that Man City should be targeting. Let me know who you think we should be targeting in the comments below. I've drawn up a list of other players that Man City could target, so I'm going to give them a brief overview. It's like a little honourable mention. These are players that we could consider going in for if any of these deals end up collapsing, or we could prioritise them. So first up, I've put in Leonardo Bonucci, centre-back, 30 years old. He's 31 in May, so he's not the youngest. Plays for AC Milan. His value, 50, 60 million pounds. It could be more. AC Milan only signed him last season for 40 million from Juventus. It'll be a bit embarrassing for them to go and sell him because they've not achieved the goals, or they've not been that impressed with Bonucci. He is an Italian international, though. It'd be a very good signing for us. He's solid, perfect defender. Put him in around other quality defenders and midfielders and a goalkeeper in Ederson, and I'm sure we'd be able to get the best out of Bonucci. But he didn't seem to want to move to the Premier League last season, so I don't really see why he'd want to move this season either. But stranger things have happened. Another centre-back we've been linked with is Jonny Evans, 30 years old, West Brom, Northern Irish. Everyone's going, for God's sake, Jonny Evans. Yes, but he is an option, a cheap option. If Man City wanted to go and splash the cash on a couple of decent, high-quality players for 60, 70, 80, even towards £100 million on a couple of players, Jonny Evans is a good option to go and sign in a player because he's available if West Brom get relegated, and it's looking highly likely that they might. He'll be available for as little as £3 million, and therefore an option. Arsenal are interested, Man City are interested. His preference is Manchester City. I wonder why. Another player that we have been linked with is Riyad Mahrez. Now, Riyad Mahrez, the right winger, was linked with Man City in January. We nearly signed him. We could go back in for him. I'd be surprised if we went back in for him. I thought that was more like a desperate call because we missed out on Alexis Sanchez, 27 years old, Algerian, valued anywhere between 50 to 90 million pound. I reckon around 70 million pound would be enough to go and sign him. However, for 70 million pounds, for someone that's 27 years old, someone that's not rapidly quick, I'm not too sure. He is left-footed. He could play on the left and could play on the right. I'm not too sure on this transfer, if I'm honest. I have some doubt there, and because I have some doubt there, I'd probably steer away. Thomas Lemar, I have no doubts about. Mahrez, I do, so I prioritise Lemar over Mahrez, whether Man City do, that's another matter completely. Another player we've been linked with is Isco. He can play on the left wing, right wing, attacking midfield and central midfield. 25 years old, plays for Real Madrid, Spanish international, doesn't need any introduction. He's a world-class player. However, he isn't on the transfer list. Real Madrid have shown no signs of wanting to sell him. He's just shown signs that he wants to move because he isn't happy about his playing time. He'd be so expensive, but would be an absolute quality player. And if he becomes available, Man City have to go in for him. We went in for him last time from Malaga, we missed out. We've got to go in for him again this time. Believe in Pep, we could bring him in. Another player, another winger, is Leon Bailey, 20-year-old winger, very quick, Leverkusen, been linked for 40, 50 million pound, could be demanding even more. He's Jamaican. I don't know a lot about him, if I'm completely honest. I'm just saying that for someone that's 20 years old, that's a very expensive price for someone that isn't there yet. And if he does get there, that suggests his price may go up even more. So, with the price being said, it suggests that he could be world-class. However, we're not looking for could-be world-class. Man City are looking for players that can provide competitive competition and can get better and better. We need that quality there. We was lacking in the Champions League. We need more quality there. Is signing a 20-year-old the answer for that amount of money? I really do not know. Another player, 19 years old, is Kylian Mbappe. Plays on the left wing, play on the right wing. He's a striker. Now, he's only been linked on this list because PSG might get struck by UEFA for their financial fair play. So if they end up saying they can't sign Mbappe next season, then that deal won't be able to go ahead and he'll be playing for Monaco again. So for £160 million, you heard that correct, £160 million, you could have yourself an Mbappe who can play up front, on the left, on the right, and showed his quality in the Champions League already, something Leon Bailey hasn't done for Leverkusen. Not yet anyway. So for £160 million, you can go and get yourself an Mbappe. I'd say that's extremely unrealistic. I couldn't imagine us paying that price for him, or any player of that matter, unless it was Ronaldo or Lionel Messi, which obviously isn't going to happen. Another player we've been linked with, central midfielder, is Thiago Alcantara, 27 years old, Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich aren't a selling club. They're not going to sell to us. I'm fairly sure there was a clause in Pep's contract that said he couldn't sign Bayern Munich players. So we're not going to be signing any Bayern Munich players. I don't understand why he would. There you go. He won't be playing for Man City. It'd be very expensive too, and Bayern don't like selling, so I'd rule that one out. Another defensive midfielder is Fred. We've been linked with, 25 years old, plays for Shakhtar. Seen it as the next Fernandinho. 40 to 50 million pound apparently is available for Brazilian international. We've seen what he can do for Shakhtar. Apparently, though, I've seen a lot of rumours saying that this deal is dead in the water, so I didn't put him on the list, otherwise it'd have been high up on my list. Apparently, though, Man City are cooling their interest. Manchester United are interested, so perhaps they're going in for him. And the last honourable mention for me is Jean-Michel Seri, central midfielder, 26-year-old, plays for Nice, available apparently for £35 million because he's got his release clause there. Ivory Coast international, and is a serious option for Man City if we end up missing out on any other central midfielders. He's cheaper than what Milinkovic-Savic is. He's 3 years older than him, though. Could we end up signing Seri? I really do not know. Is Jorginho an option? Weigl, in my opinion, though, top option. Like I said, let me know your opinions in the comments below. But that's been the top 5 players that Man City should target for the summer window 2018. Let me know who you think Man City should be targeting. Who do you think is realistic and unrealistic? What will improve Manchester City? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for Man City content and Manchester City transfer news. As we head into the summer, we will have daily, that is right, daily transfer updates for Manchester City, so subscribe, notifications on if you are interested. So that's been the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.